Hey guys, today I'm gonna show you how to paint cute ducks in watercolor style, and also I will share tips on painting white objects in general. Painting ducks could be a good start because the body shapes are pretty simple to sketch. Also, ducks only have 2 to 3 colors, which is much easier to work with. For today's painting, I sketched these 2 ducks. One duck is chilling on the left and the other one is lying on the ground and resting the head against the other one. So I threw in some storyline there to make it more interesting. If you find it difficult to sketch it out or want to go straight into coloring, I have prepared the sketch file for you. The link is in the description below and you can download it for free. Now let's get into it. The first tip I'm gonna share on painting white objects is that you need a colored background. Apparently, you can't see the white objects if the background is also white on white. If the white objects you're painting is furry or the outline is not smooth but has some sort of details, you will need a darker background because the details of the edges can only be seen with a darker background. Today, since we're gonna paint these furry ducks, I chose this solid green color as our background color. Then we'll be able to see the feathers on the edges. I used this adjusted old beach brush that we did in the previous video. You can either follow the instruction to create your own or download it through the link in the description below for free. When it comes to coloring the ducks, we get the second tip on painting white objects, which is not using pure white for your white objects. If you use pure white, it will be impossible to add highlights later on. Also, it makes it impossible to adjust the color tones. Let me show you why the color tone matters real quick. I'm gonna paint 3 color blocks. The first one, let's do a pure white. For the second one, let me pick a pale pink, which looks almost like white. And for the last one, let's do a pale blue, which is also close to white. Just by looking at them, there's not much of a difference. Now let's adjust the color tone by changing the hue. You can clearly see the colors are changing for the second and the third ones, but for the first one, there's no change. That means pure white is not adjustable. To make it possible to adjust to match with the overall color tone later on, it would be better to avoid using pure white on the main objects. So I picked this pale orange for these duck bodies. In this step, we need to color each segment of the ducks in individual layers. How to color it? Use the brush that I mentioned earlier to cover up the big area, and then use the selection tool to get rid of the excess color. So we need 1 layer for the duck main body, another layer for the other duck's main body, 1 layer for the bills and the feet. The reason why these 4 color blocks are on 1 single layer is because they are in the same color and also they are quite far away from each other. Even if I need to smudge one of them, it won't mess up with the other color blocks. And after that, we need another layer for all the eyes and eyebrows. And the last layer is for the little wings. After the basic work is done, I'm gonna work with the wings for a little bit. Select the smudging tool, use a soft brush to smooth out the color. I want to keep the ends of the wings dark, so make a smooth transition from the white body to the darker wingtips. Next step, add details. I'm gonna darken the bottom part of the bills. When I add details, I usually work on a new layer and select the clipping tool. Make sure this new layer is on top of where the shapes you're planning to add details for. Then the new layer patches won't go beyond the edges. Use this approach to add holes on the top of the bills and also add details to their webbed feet as well. Now let's add shadows. Since the duck on the right is resting its head on the other one, it would cast a shadow on the other duck's body. Go find the layer where the main body of the duck on the left is. Add a layer on top of that. Select the clipping mask. Use the same color we used for the wings, and then smooth out the hard edges. and blend in some green color in it. Because of the grass would reflect some of the sunlight towards the ducks, that is where the green comes from. That also comes to the third tip on painting white objects. Mix some background colors into the shadows on the white objects. That actually happens to all objects in any color. However, white objects get affected much more because colors show much better on white. Similarly, add some shadows to the bottom part of the ducks. Then add some shadows on the grass under the ducks as well. Here we bring in some textures. Select the smudging tool. Use the Copperhead brush to create textures. So at the edges of a shape, lift the pen tips to smudge into the shape and also try smudge out of the shape. After the grass shadow is done, I'm gonna add textures to the ducks as well. Smudge a little bit on the edge of the ducks to make it look fluffy, but don't add too much because ducks are usually not as fluffy as squirrels or rabbits. As I played around with it, I found it looked really cute with the furry head, so I added the fur on top of both of the ducks' heads. Make some adjustments. Then we come to the last step, adjust the overall color tone. I feel like this color scheme overall looks a little bit cold, so I want to boost the warm tone a little bit. Make sure to combine all the layers and we're gonna make changes on the combined layer. Select the curves from adjustments, find red. Drag the line to make it curve up at 3/4 of the line. Play around with it until you're happy with the overall color tone. And it looks good now. Before you go, let's go through the tips that I shared today for painting white objects. The first one, set a darker background color to pop the white objects out. And secondly, avoid using pure white for the white objects. Lastly, blend the background color into the shadows on the white objects. These tips are pretty universal. Go try them out painting other white objects and let me know if you have any questions. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a like. It will also help the video to be picked up by the algorithm. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next one. Bye!